I know I don't own you, but you're still mine.
Say it again.
You're mine.
Drama, secrets, jealousy, heartbreak, sex, and of course, love. First of all, a huge thank you to everyone for your incredible support and votes for Your Fault London. Today we are diving right back into Nick and Noah's story. A year ago, their parents got married, making them step-siblings. But Nick and Noah fell in love and started dating in secret. But love and attraction aren't enough. If you watched the Spanish version or read the books, you already know that the second part of the story is all about intense jealousy, constant arguments, misunderstandings, which bring lots of questions. From parents to kids, from Nick to Noah, from Noah to Nick. So today, while watching the second part of the trilogy, we'll continue working on our grammar knowledge and focus on question forms. In the first part, we went through all 16 active grammar tenses, and today we'll learn how they are transformed into questions. And of course, some native English idioms and phrases to help you understand English speakers better. The cherry on top. The actors are British, so you'll hear British pronunciation, accents, and the way Brits talk, which is slightly different from American English. Thank you for your support, likes, and comments. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and let's begin.
You win. What do you want as your prize?
You know what I want.
Well, you're gonna have to come get it.
Nick's question is about Noah's preference. We use the present simple for person's wishes, preferences, or opinions, facts, routines, habits, likes and dislikes. On top of that, the verb want is a stative verb, same like the verbs to understand, to believe, to hate, to know. They describe a state rather than an action. That's why they are not commonly used in continuous tenses. Noah is the race winner, so Nick is asking, what do you want as your prize? In standard grammar, questions are formed by placing an auxiliary verb, so-called a helping verb, before the subject. This verb doesn't have any meaning. You don't have to translate it. There are two auxiliary verbs in this tense. Number one, do. Let's form it together. I want Nick as a prize. Place do before I. Do I want Nick as a prize? Do you want Nick as a prize? It's a yes-no question. Answers, yes I do, no I do not. The verb has ending s when subject is he, she, it. This ending moves to the helping verb do and it becomes does. It is auxiliary number 2. Noah wants Nick as a prize. Does Noah want Nick as a prize? Don't forget about the irregular verbs and their 3 forms in English tenses. The question in the film, what do you want as your prize, has a question word what. We add question words like when, why, how long, what, when we need more information, not just yes, no answer. Place a question word before the auxiliary verb, no matter which tense you use. Example, what kind of prize do you want?
Who are all these people? Just smile and wave. I haven't got a clue, all right? Okay.
Nick has organized a birthday surprise party for Noah. Noah doesn't know all the invited guests there. She's asking, who are all those people? It's the present simple tense again. But hold on. Where are the helping auxiliary verbs then? Do and does are not the only ones that can be auxiliary verbs in the present simple tense. The verb to be, its forms am is are also helping verbs in the questions. The rule, whenever there are am is are in the sentence, move them and place before the subject. And forget about do and does. Example, all those people are my guests. The subject is all those people. Question, are all those people my guests? Noah's friend replies, I haven't got a clue. It's a phrase that means I don't know. But my focus here isn't on the phrase itself. Instead, I want to show you how Brits say they have something. An American English speaker would usually say, I have no clue, or I don't have a clue. Throughout the entire film, Your Fault London, you won't hear anyone say it like that. Instead, you'll hear, I've got and I haven't got. That's the typical British way of saying I have or I don't have. Now one more example of the question with the verb to be, this time in the past tense.
Was Nick really that convincing?
Yeah, a bit too convincing.
Was Nick really that convincing? To convince someone means to make them believe that something is true. So if someone is convincing, he's very good at making people believe or agree with him. Mom asks that question because Nick was good at keeping the party under wraps.
Can you keep a secret? I've got my grandma's ring and I'm going to propose to her.
Can you keep a secret? It's another example of the question in the present simple tense, but there are no auxiliaries, do, does, no, am is, are. There is can before the subject. So not only do, does, am is, are can be auxiliary verbs, but also modal verbs. Can, may, must, should, and would. And the rule remains the same. Place the modal verb before the subject and voila, there is the question.
I want to clear all my debts, have nothing hanging over us.
Nick's friend Lion wants to clear his debts before proposing to Jenna. In this phrase, the word clear means remove completely or get rid of. So the phrase means to pay back all the money you owe, so you no longer have any debts. There are more phrases with the word clear in this meaning. Clear your name means prove you're innocent. Clear the table means remove everything from it. Clear your inbox means deal with all your emails. Have something hanging over us is an idiomatic expression. It's very natural in everyday English, especially in British English. It means to have a problem, worry, responsibility, or unpleasant situation that hasn't been resolved yet. It creates the image of something heavy hanging above your head that could fall at any time. Example, I can't relax with this exam hanging over me.
I've got you. Yeah, I'm here to help.
Nick, there's a race.
If I do this, Noah can never find out.
Nick says, I've got you, I'm here to help. I hear this expression all the time from native speakers. For example, when I order coffee and say I'd like it with lactose-free milk if possible, the barista says, I've got you. This expression means I understand, I support, you can rely on me, you've got my back, I'll make it happen.
What is going on? Are you being serious? Yeah.
We can recognize the tense by its formula am is are and ing ending. This is the present continuous tense that is used to describe something happening right now. When you say you are being lazy, you are being silly, serious, or mean, you describe a temporary behavior happening right now. It means acting like or behaving like at this exact moment. We already know that the forms of the verb to be act as auxiliary verbs. Place it before the subject and you have a question. Example in the past continuous. Why were you laughing when I said that?
A good surprise.
Yeah.
Checking me out. Behave.
Good surprise? You checking me out? Both these questions might look like mistakes, but they're not. They are called elliptical, shortened questions. Ellipsis means leaving out words that everyone understands from the context. Examples. You okay? You coming? Ready? You can use these shortened questions in everyday speech. This is perfectly fine. However, don't forget, formal speaking, formal writing, business English, classroom English, that's where you should follow grammar rules 100%.
I love you.
Never got old hearing you say that.
It never gets old hearing you say that. The idiom "it never gets old" means it never becomes boring. Here, old means boring, overused, no longer exciting. You can use that expression when something always stays nice or enjoyable, even if you experience it many times. For example, spending my summers in Italy never gets old.
When are we telling them again?
Soon. Just not now. My dad's got a lot on his mind.
Noah doesn't seem to like keeping their relationship in secret. That's why she's asking, when are we telling them again? She's talking about the parents. We already know this is the present continuous that describes ongoing action. But wait, they are not telling their parents anything right now. Why then she uses this tense? We use the present continuous for the future when we talk about fixed plans or arrangements. Even if the action is in the future, we use present continuous because the plan is already decided. Examples: we are meeting them tomorrow. She's flying to London next week. They are getting married in June. So remember, present continuous, arranged plan. Future simple, spontaneous decision. For example, I will tell her tomorrow, meaning I just decided I'm thinking about telling her tomorrow. My dad's got a lot on his mind. It's another example of British way to say my dad has. To have a lot on my mind is also an expression. It means my dad is stressed, worried, dealing with a lot right now.
Oh, well, that's a sweet necklace. Who gave you that? Jenna.
Noah cannot say the necklace is from Nick, so she lies. The mom asks, who gave you that? This is a subject question in the past simple tense. The verb give is in its second form of irregular verbs. A subject question asks about the subject of the sentence, who or what did the action. In subject questions, we do not use auxiliary verbs like do, does, did, because the question word itself is the subject. Examples: present simple, who gives you that? We add an ending s to the verb give because who refers to the third person singular, he or she. But if you know for sure that the subject is more than one person, you can use the rules for a plural form. For example, present continuous. You hear one person talking to your friend. Your question, who is talking to you? You hear a few people talking to your friend. Your question, who are talking to you?
Yeah, I got that necklace. Mad budget for prezzies this year, mate.
Jenna answers, mad budget for presses this year. Presses means presents, gifts. You will hear more examples in the film of shortened words like this one. Remember, they are used in casual conversations, not in formal English. Now you are going to hear the types of questions used only in informal speech and only to show emotions, not just to ask for information.
Package securely delivered.
You wanted to give the chauffeur the day off, did you?
You're training to be a wizard, are you?
You wanted to give the chauffeur the day off, did you? The mom is surprised to see Nick there. He drove Noah's stuff by himself, even though they have workers to do that. Mom doesn't know about Nick and Noah's relationship yet, but is getting suspicious. Using a question like this, she shows sarcasm. You can use this reaction question for surprise, suspicion, teasing. Example: someone tells you you are being lazy. Your reaction question: that's what you think, do you? Then Nick is teasing Noah. He says, training to be a wizard, are you? Here we have an elliptical shortened sentence that we've learned already, which is in present continuous. The full sentence is, you are training to be a wizard. He says that because Oxford looks magical, like from Harry Potter. So from these examples, we can make a reaction question pattern. Sentence, comma, auxiliary and subject. Please mind, the auxiliary should match the tense you use in your sentence. Do you, are you, did you, etc.
So I was wondering if you wanted to just sort of jump the gun and start by getting pissed together.
This is Briar. She's going to play a significant role in Nick and Noah's relationship. They are going to a party later. Briar offers to get to know each other better and become friends. She says, I was wondering if you wanted to jump the gun and start by getting pissed together. Jump the gun is an idiom that means to do something too early, before the right time. Example, she jumped the gun and announced it too soon. You can use it for decisions, judgments, actions. Get pissed in British slang means to get drunk. So Briar's question is, I was wondering if you want to start earlier than planned and begin drinking together.
Which one do you want? If you have a preference. Mine?
I'm good.
Uni is literally for exploring your options.
Here you have more examples of shortened words used in casual English. Pref means preference. Briar says, if you have a pref, I don't mind. She's talking about boys. Noah says, I'm good. You can hear this phrase very often when someone says no to your offer or proposition. It literally means I don't want it, I don't need it, in a polite way. Example, would you like some coffee? I'm good. Briar is not fond of the fact Noah has a boyfriend. She says, uni is literally for exploring your options. Uni means university. At her first class, Noah meets Michael.
Well, that was fun, wasn't it? Just in case you need me.
Maybe if I need to fact check you.
Noah and Michael sort of try to outsmart each other during the class. That's why Michael asks, well, that was fun, wasn't it? It's a tag question. This type of question is used in two main situations. Number one, to ask for agreement, when you already know the answer. You use this when you are 99% sure the other person agrees with you and you just want to connect with them or start a friendly conversation. That's what Michael is doing. Situation number two, to check information. When you are unsure, you use this when you think you know the answer but you want to double check if you're correct. Example, you think your friend went to a party last night but you aren't completely sure. You ask, that party was fun, wasn't it? Two ways to make this question. Positive sentence, comma, negative tag, auxiliary plus not plus subject. You went to the party, didn't you? The second way. Negative sentence, comma, positive tag, auxiliary plus subject. You didn't go to the party, did you?
What is this? No, I'd have a name.
Michael.
Yeah, well, you know I'll kill any guy who comes near you.
So we have the first tension. Nick doesn't like that some guy pays extra attention towards Noah.
Will you stay on the phone while I go to sleep?
Of course. It's like you're here in my flat, right next to me.
Will you stay on the phone? It's a yes-no question in the future simple tense. Will is the auxiliary verb that swaps places with the subject. The full answer is, of course I will. No, I will not. The shortened form is, no, I won't. Nick says, it's like you are here in my flat right next to me. Flat is mostly used in British English to talk about a small unit for living. Americans call it an apartment. However, you can hear both words in both languages depending on what people are talking about. The apartment usually describes something more luxurious and flat something more basic.
Sat next to the golden boy of tech, who's also annoyingly attractive.
Noah realizes a new Nick's co-worker likes Nick. She feels threatened. Sophia is beautiful, successful, and rich. Noah's mom becomes even more suspicious.
She's so impressive, isn't she?
She uses a tag question. She's so impressive, isn't she? The auxiliary verb is. As the sentence is positive, there is a negative tag. Isn't she?
Should we go back home?
I'm going to see Jenna.
Why did you drive all the way from Oxford for a boring corporate press event?
Mom pushes further. She says, shall we go back home? She wants to know Noah's plans. Shall in the future tenses is used for suggestions and offers with I and we. Examples. Shall we start? Shall we dance? It's very typical in British English. Americans in these situations mostly use should. Should we go home? Should we start?
Nick and I are going to take Sophia to lunch. We're going to strike while the iron's hot.
You gotta strike while the iron's hot. It's an idiom that comes from working with metal. When the iron is red hot, it's soft and easy to change. This idiom means you must take action immediately because you have a very good opportunity right now and that opportunity might disappear soon. You can use this idiom when someone has a great chance to do something, but they're hesitating. Example: that flight to Paris is 50% off right now. You could strike while the iron's hot and buy the ticket before the price goes back up.
You'd make a great couple, wouldn't they, ladies? Well, I'll throw your hat in the ring.
Yeah, why not, Nick? Throw your hat in the ring.
The tension grows. Now it's Noah who's jealous. Nick's father is a businessman. He uses the idiom, throw your hat in the ring. This idiom is mostly used in politics, work, business, or sports. It means to officially announce that you are entering a competition, contest, or election. It signals to others that you want to be considered for a job, a promotion, or an opportunity, and that you are ready to compete against others to win. When the father uses it for romance, it means you are openly letting people know you are interested in someone and are going to try to win their affection. It is usually said with a playful or humorous tone. Example: I heard Sarah is single again. I think I'm gonna throw my hat in the ring and ask her out.
What, you see something?
Me? Have you thought about this at all? What happens when you fall out?
Have you thought about this at all? From the structure you can see it's the present perfect tense. Have and has are auxiliary verbs. When you place have or has before the subject, it becomes a yes-no question. What happens when you fall out? It's a subject question. You can see the verb happens has the ending as the verb is in the third person singular. To fall out is a phrasal verb that means to have a major argument or disagreement that damages a relationship. Example: I don't want to fall out with you over a silly misunderstanding.
One seedy tabloid headline and the investors would run for the hills.
The investors will run for the hills. This idiom means to escape or run away very quickly because you are scared, shocked, or trying to avoid trouble. In this context, if the public finds out about the dirty secret, the business investors will get scared of losing their money and will immediately cancel their deals and leave. Simple example: when the kitchen caught fire, everyone ran for the hills.
Nick, you can cease working for Leicester Enterprises for good.
You can cease working for Leicester Enterprises for good. The father threatens to end Nick's career. Cease means to stop doing something or to bring something to an end. It is a formal professional word for stop. For good is also an idiom that means permanently or forever. It means something will never change back or never happen again. It has nothing to do with being good or nice. Simple example: she moved to Paris for good, meaning she moved there permanently and will not return.
You can either find another way to pay your tuition fees for Oxford or drop out.
As for Noah, she can forget about her education because the father is the one paying for it. Here the father uses the expression either or. It is used when you give a choice, this or that. So she can either pay her tuition fees herself, it's a payment for education, or drop out. This phrase means to quit school, college, or program before you have finished your studies or graduated. He is given an ultimatum: either find the money to pay for Oxford or leave the university completely without getting a degree.
God, this is exactly what I was avoiding.
So what would you do? What would you choose? How would you handle this situation? Unfortunately, Nick and Noah didn't handle it very well. Nick comes for the race, as promised, to help his friend Lion. There he finds out he's racing Cruz, the guy who works for Ronnie. Ronnie is the guy who kidnapped Noah and almost killed Nick in the first part of the trilogy.
Nick, he cheated.
Don't.
How dare he?
How dare he? The verb dare can be confusing for English learners because it can be used as a modal verb and as a regular verb. It's used as a modal verb to express shock, anger, or outrage, sort of having the nerve to do something. In this situation, it follows modal verbs rules. No ending S after she, he, it. Bare infinitive example. He dare not go, and works as auxiliary for questions in negative sentences. So Noah is expressing anger because the guy cheated. That's why she uses dare as a modal verb in her question, how dare he? As a regular verb, it's used when someone is being brave enough to do something or challenging someone to do something. For example, he didn't dare to ask, meaning he wasn't brave enough to ask. Do you dare to play? Meaning I challenge you to play. When used as a regular verb, it follows English tenses rules. Nick goes for a business trip with Sophia, where he gets to know Sophia better, ends up celebrating their business deal with her and forgets to call Noah. Noah goes to a party with Michael and friends. There she gets to know Michael better, but rejects his affections. Nick lies and says he just fell asleep and missed Noah's call.
Are you threatened by Michael?
You're literally jealous of Sophia.
Yes!
They sorted out their jealousy issues, but it didn't last long. Soon enough, Noah finds out the truth about why Nick didn't call her, gets upset and drives off to race.
Oh, did you get dressed up just for me, yeah? You did, innit?
Did you get dressed up just for me? You did, innit? Innit is a very common British slang word. While innit literally comes from isn't it, people use it as a general tag question at the end of a sentence. In casual speech, it can replace almost any standard question tag like isn't it, didn't you, don't you, aren't they? For example, you live down the street, innit? You live down the street, don't you? It is purely informal street slang. It is popular in casual conversation, among friends, in text messages, and frequently appears in British pop and rap music.
Cruz is working with Ronnie. This is a setup.
You knew that?
Noah realizes Nick knew Cruz worked for Ronnie and the race could have ended really badly. That's why she uses a declarative question. It's basically a sentence just with a question mark. It's used to confirm what you already know. For example, you are not coming for the party. They are already married. And it's used also to show anger or suspicion. And that's what we see. Noah is very angry right now. Examples. You lied to me. She took my kiss without asking. You forgot our anniversary again. Declarative questions are not considered grammar mistakes. They are completely valid and recognized grammatical structure in English. Linguists and dictionary authorities classify them as a natural feature of informal spoken English, rather than an error.
But I'm not really your girlfriend either, am I? Not in public, not in front of our parents, not in front of Sophia.
I'm not really your girlfriend either, am I? It's a tag question. We've seen examples of the first type of this question. This is an example of the second type, a negative sentence with a positive tag. Noah doesn't want to be kept hidden. It upsets her. She is using a tag question to confirm her situation. Nick and Noah take a break in their relationship, but that's not the worst thing that happens between them. Watch the film to see what happens next. I believe that now you can confidently ask questions in English without worrying about mistakes. See you in the next video.
What have you done?